one and only. There's not another. There's not a competing Messiah. There's not another means of our existence. It's all one, through him and by him and for him. Jesus Christ, the express image of the living God, the fullness of the deity dwelling in this one man. You have to focus and discipline your mind to contemplate and meditate and think about these verses that are describing this one man, Jesus Christ, because once you begin to understand who he is, and all of the accusations, all of the competitors, all of these things just drift away, because there's no competitor to this man, the God-man, Jesus Christ. There's no other way. There can be no other way because of who he is, you see.
Stamped us with his image upon us, stamped his law upon our heart, so that we can honor and glorify our God and our Creator. It's the power of the gospel that's able to do that, my friend. And the Bible speaks very clearly about that. It's the preaching of the cross. The preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved, it is the power of God. For it is written,
them and put them on crosses. So why do we have the symbol of a form of execution tattooed on our arm, or on our necklace, or earrings, or on our apparel? Why do we do that? There's a couple reasons. One, because of a particular person who was executed on a cross. Number two, is what happened to that person after he was executed on the cross, that he was buried in a tomb, and 3 days later he rose from the dead. And it's that historical event that takes the symbol of a cross, which was a form of execution, and turns it into something of beauty.
The shepherd, and they know not what he wants. He wants you to sit still and realize that you need to be saved. When a sheep is in danger, you know what a sheep does? A sheep just runs around in circles. Like a wolf is coming to attack them, they just run around in circles. They're poor, helpless animals. Your shepherd wants you to realize you're just running in circles. Your good deeds and your efforts are just like somebody sitting running, a dog chasing its tail, or a dog chasing a car. It's just endless. It's not going to end. See, what the shepherd needs you to understand and to see is your good works simply show the condition of your heart. That you can't be good enough.
He accepted that sacrifice. He was crucified. And he died on that cross at Calvary. In fulfillment to the Scriptures. In fulfillment to God's Word. He was crucified. Buried. And he rose again on the third day. Christ conquered sin and death. He brings in everlasting righteousness, everlasting forgiveness, redemption, justification.
And so it is with the ways of God, that God speaks to us. And we see that what he says works and it's true. And it lines up with reality. But man is always trying to confuse the matter with all his squabblings and arguments and vain wisdom. It says, "For you have heard of my former conduct in Judaism, how I persecuted the church of God beyond measure and tried to destroy it." See, the Apostle Paul, he was in that place where he went by his own human reasoning and his own religious upbringing. And so he wanted to destroy those who followed Jesus because they angered him. They did not make sense to him. And he saw them as enemies. And he even tried to destroy the church. And you know what? It wasn't by anybody sitting down and trying to reason with him and give him good intellectual arguments that he came to know Jesus. But God miraculously moved upon him. And so it is with any who is born again. They don't become born again because somebody sat down and finally talked them into it. Because if you can be talked into being a Christian or a believer of God, then somebody else can come along and talk you out of it. But when you meet God, and you know God, and you spend time in His presence, and you believe and trust in His Word, and it brings you even closer and more into His presence, that unmistakable presence where there is the peace that passes all understanding, where there is that joy overflowing,